I was told what my wife does while I'm at work. I am 34 years old. My wife is 5 years younger than me. We have two beautiful twin daughters. I love them very much. They are very beautiful. I had the perfect family until one moment. I have always considered a wife to be the most ideal wife in the world. Always trusted her and trusted her. We rarely fought with her. Even if this happened, we quickly put up. We were a great couple, unlike other families. Our neighbors fought every day. There was never a quarrel about her betrayals or deceptions. She didn't even give me a reason to be jealous. There was no one to be jealous of. She did not communicate with any of the men. So at the time, I had no idea at all. I, too, was faithful to her and would never have thought that I was capable of treason. She arranged everything for me. Only now we usually did not have enough money for the whole family. I worked constantly and often took part-time jobs to support my family. I went on long flights and brought enough money. By the way, I work as a truck driver always. When I returned from a flight, I was met by our beloved daughters. A hot dinner was always ready, and I knew that. They were waiting for me at home, but the birthday of our daughters destroyed my whole life and faith in people. They had a birthday 2 days ago. My wife and I took our birthday girls to their mother-in-law, and we ourselves went shopping to buy food for the holiday. We went to the store and began to choose different products. Then we chose sweets for our daughters. When I left the store, my wife was not around. I looked around me and did not see my wife. I went to our car and put the groceries in the trunk, because there were a lot of them and it was hard to keep them. She must have run back to the store, I thought. I looked towards the store and saw my wife, who was standing to the left of the entrance and talking to some woman. They were arguing and yelling about something. The woman who was standing next to my wife began to swing at her and wanted to hit her. What is going on there with them? I was surprised. I ran to them and started to separate them. The woman kept trying to hit her, but I didn't let her do it. She began to insult my wife with various words. If it was a man, he would have been lying on the ground long ago. Who are you? Why are you insulting my wife? I asked this woman. My wife began to drag me by the hand and told me not to listen to her and get into the car. I examined this woman, and she did not look like some kind of crazy woman. She was brightly dressed and pretty. Are you the husband of this chicken? The woman asked. I replied that I am a husband. Oh, there you are. Now I will tell your husband the whole truth. The woman said happily. She started hugging me and touching my forearms. Give me your man, pretty girl. We will also spend one night with him like you and my husband. The woman said maliciously to my wife. This made me very angry. Why are you talking like this? What do you allow yourself, woman? I told her. She started telling me that her husband was cheating on her with my wife. I looked at my wife in surprise, and she covered her face with her hands. After a few seconds, she burst into tears, run to the car. I called out to my wife. She began to say something through her tears, but I could not make out anything. I once again ordered her to get into the car and wait for me. Wife, wiping her tears, got into the car. I continued talking to this woman. Wait, you're confusing something. My wife and I have a great relationship. We have two children and we love each other. What change are you talking about? I asked this woman. She said she had proof of her infidelity. I said that now I cannot talk for a long time, as we are in a hurry for the birthday of our children. We agreed to meet her later. We exchanged phone numbers and agreed to meet again. We said goodbye to her and I got into the car. The wife continued to cry. Calm down, pretend like nothing happened. Now let's not talk about anything. We'll talk after the birthday, he said in an orderly tone to his wife. We arrived home and began to prepare for the holiday. While we were decorating the room, preparing food, she once again tried to explain everything, but I told her that all conversations would be after the birthday. The birthday was just great. There were dances, songs, competitions. The children were very happy and everyone was happy. After all the dancing, we sat down at the table. The children went to play in another room. I noticed that my wife pours herself a lot of strong drinks. Usually, she does not consume them in large quantities. After the feast, everyone began to gather home. We put the kids to bed and I tried to talk to my wife, but I heard nothing but stupid excuses and tears. She constantly said that she loved me and no one else. She answered the rest of the questions. I don't know, I can't say. And everything is like that. The next day I called the woman who was yelling at my wife. We agreed to meet. When we met, she apologized for yesterday's behavior. She said she didn't know we were going to our children's birthday. I accepted the apology and began to comfort her. Well, let's look at the evidence of your wife's infidelity, she asked. Yes, let's see, I replied. She took out a small laptop and inserted a flash drive into it. She opened a folder with some videos. I saw that they were security cameras. She showed me how my wife entered the house in an embrace with her husband. Then she began to open the videotape that was inside the house. I think it will be unpleasant for you to watch your wife cheating, she said. I asked her to open it to be sure. She opened the videotape and there was my wife in the same bed with a man. They were making love. Now I am sure that my wife is cheating on me. I thought that day that this woman just confused my wife with someone else. But when I saw my wife in the same bed with a strange man, everything became clear to me. I always believed her. I always loved her and never gave a reason for betrayal. What happened to her? What did she miss? This woman ordered me a strong drink. You need to relax, she said. I quickly consumed this drink and I felt better. It turned out that my wife's new lover was a gigolo. He was much younger than her and did not have his own home. He lived at her expense and she always treated him. This woman was engaged in business and had a good income. Then when I got older, I found this guy. And he turned out like this, decided to switch to my wife now. After talking with this woman, I went home. My wife greeted me at home with tears in her eyes. She tried again to apologize to me, but it was no use. I explained to my wife that her new lover was an ordinary bred, that he will leave her as soon as he finds a richer victim. I was a good father and a good husband. Why she decided to cheat, I never understand. And what about our children? How will they receive this information? It is clear that while they are small, we will not tell them. But what then? They will not love their own mother because of her actions. The next day, this woman called me and asked how I was doing. I replied that I would divorce my wife. She appreciated my choice after that. She offered to get a job with her. I said I would consider the offer and thanked her. Dear listeners, thank you for your time. What do you think about this? The man earned money by hard work, took care of the children, and gave love to his wife. And on a happy day for their children, this happens here. How does her conscience even allow such things to do? It would be nice if there were no children. But when there are children, and even two, I don't know, my conscience wouldn't allow it. Be sure to write your opinion in the comments about this story. I will be very interested to read them and answer you. Has your wife ever cheated on you? How did you react to this? Would you forgive cheating on your wife or kicked out of the house?